even though I am sad and scared as doing this, I knew at the same time that this was what I love to do. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and as you can see, very different today. I have two special guests. Starting from the far end, we have MONROE STEELE. Everyone should know who this is by now. We have JENEE from High Low Luxe in the middle, and yours truly. Now, this video is a very special one, and it's off the back of one I did before about the video called I Quit, which I will link in the cards above, and I'll link it below. This is just talking about the business of blogging, content creation, being on Instagram, all social media, how we do it, how do you make money from it, how do you make this your livelihood. It's going to be split into 3 parts. I will be doing one part, and JENEE will do one, and MONROE still will do the other part. So I will link those 2 videos below for you. So after you've watched this part, make sure to click below to the links to check out part 2 and part 3, okay?
In that order.
That is it. All right, let's go. All right, so first question, and this is from all these questions are taken from my Instagram. So how did you get started or choose to get started? Thank you. I will take that as a general question as how did I even get started in doing this? And for me, it started as a hobby. I had a 9-to-5 job. I hated it. I was dying a slow death at my desk every day. So I started my blog, Where Did You Get That?, which I still have as a outlet. And I just felt very relieved once I started that blog. It was just like a personal diary for me. And that's how it is. I think you need to love what you're doing. And for me, I loved talking about fashion and style and playing with clothes and putting things together and coming up with different outfits. I didn't have any kind of formal training or career in it. I didn't go to university or any kind of fashion school or college or anything. It was just something I just loved to do. I started in February 2009, and it wasn't a career. It was no such thing as you could be an influencer or a content creator. I just loved to do it, and that was it. I didn't think it could be anything more than that. It was just something I could just play. It was my happy space. Do it because you love it, because for a large part, you won't get paid anything in the beginning.
Not a cent.
Not a thing.
Not a thing.
Love what you're doing, and that will keep you going.
Okay, so this one is from The Chic Academic, and it's basically how to grow a following. I feel like that's probably gonna be a general question.
Yeah.
She says, I hit 30,000 followers this month. What would you suggest I do to get to 50K? So my tip 1 is focus on the platform, so whatever platform that is, and you need to learn the platform. You need to do your research. Whatever is new, whatever is trending. I know people say that, but that's how it is. You're rewarded on every platform if you use the tools. You basically have to do whatever they are pushing. Whatever they're trying to get you to do, that's what you need to focus on. So on Instagram, you need to be doing reels. I know we hate to hear it, but that's what it is. And you need to be going live once a month. Like, you can follow Instagram and they give you these tips. You need to be doing stories. Like, they literally have a breakdown of like how many stories a week, how many lives you should be doing, how many reels. I don't really think IGTV is a thing as much, but then even when you do those things, you need to be researching how you do those things. And then adding on to that, if you are doing all the things on that platform and then venturing out on other platforms, that brings new audiences as well. So I feel like my Instagram grew doing reels, and then also doing TikTok, and then people finding me and going to Instagram.
Also, I mean, it's very hard to be good at a lot of different platforms, but if you can pick just 2, one or the other can help you grow. So I feel like being more on YouTube helped me grow my Instagram, because people on YouTube want to see more content, and so they are more inclined to go to my Instagram and see what else I'm doing in between my videos. And I also feel like even the little bit that I do on TikTok, because y'all, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing on TikTok, that has helped too. It's bringing people from TikTok over to Instagram as well.
Also, just be consistent with doing it. It's easy to just post a reel, post TikTok or whatever, or a YouTube video, and then after a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, you're like, oh God, I've got to do another one. You know, people aren't going to show up for you. If you show up every single Friday, or if you show up every single whatever day of the week it is that you post anywhere, they will show up for you because they're expected to see that video from you. They get trained in a way to see it coming. That's the kind of approach you need to take. Be as consistent as you can.
And also, don't get discouraged, because really, when it comes to being an influencer, it's all about longevity. It's just about outlasting people who are going to give up. Because a lot of people will. And so if you just stick to it, eventually you'll get where you want to go.
And that's where the joy has to come in.
All right, the next question here is from More Style, More Beauty. and she asked, how do you balance creating your own organic content and content for brands? I think this is a great question. I would say about 85% of the content I create is just content that's I'm doing for me. YouTube videos, Instagram photos, reels. I would say 85% of that I'm not getting paid for. So that's where that joy comes in. So I think it does need to be a good balance. People don't want to see ads every single photo on Instagram. They don't want to feel like you're shoving or selling things down their throat. They want to know like what's going on in between when you're working. Same thing with YouTube videos. I don't actually do dedicated videos. It's just not my thing. I feel like you're just trying to sell something. I mean, it's okay if it's like a clothing brand and you're showing different things. That I can understand, but I don't like to really do dedicated videos. It's just not my thing. I feel like for me, with YouTube videos, it works better if I integrate something. It seems a lot more natural, showing you how I use it over a span of time, not just in one video.
Dedicated video, if anyone doesn't know, is a video where the entire video from start to finish is sponsored. The majority of YouTubers don't do those videos for that reason. Most of our videos have their sponsored integration where only like 5 minutes has only 5 minutes of the
integrated
video.
paid for
Advertorial.
There you go.
That's what the UK people say.
Period.
Oh, do they? I don't even say that, but I'm not over there, so I guess I'm not really.
Yeah. I think it's like literally like the language that
The
they
language
have to
they
use.
have.
They all say it the same way.
Oh, they all say it. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not there. I'm in New York, so there you go. I don't say it. I just speak wherever. When in Rome, integration is just like between 5 to 10 at the max. That's an integration for the sponsored part of the video, and the rest of the video is not sponsored at all, and it's about the rest of the content. Unless it really is such a perfect fit for you that it just makes perfect sense for you and for the audience.
And I think when you do this job really well, the great thing is that the paid for things can feel like the regular things.
This question comes from Lehedi, I believe. If you had to guess, what do you think your yearly salary is? Guessing your yearly salary is really based on the jobs that you get, really, on an average monthly basis. Say you get, I don't know, 1 job per week, okay? So that's 4 for the month, and you know what you're charging for it. You instantly have a total number for that month. So you can just add that up and that will give you your total for the year. That's just like a simple math version. You have high months and low months. You have months where you get a lot of work and months where you don't get as much work. That's the freelance life, and that's the risk and reward that you take on when you decide to work for yourself, essentially. The year is split into like 4 quarters when it comes to like the business in terms of income. Q1 is the first quarter of the year, and traditionally that's usually when a lot of people, ourselves included, tends to, generally speaking, not make as much as we do towards the end of the year, which is Q3, Q4, which tends to be like actually around now, to right up to Christmas time or holiday time, the end of December. That's when you tend to maximize and make the most, because that's when a lot of brands are looking to like really push campaigns for holiday and all kinds of things. So that's when you make, generally speaking, the most money. So if you wanted to sort of average that out in terms of the whole year, you can do that for yourself. Just look at what you're making on average every month. As I said, the keyword is on average because it differs every single month. And then that gives you an idea of what you can make for your yearly salary.
Typically, people can make, if, you know, depends on how good you're at this job, but people can typically make what they've made so far this year, they can double that in the 4th quarter. That's how busy the work is. Like from September to December, I could make the same amount that I've made the entire year so far.
Yeah, correct.
Which is a lot.
Correct.
Millions, perhaps. Hundreds of thousands.
I want to preface this with saying I think this can be eye-opening if you are thinking about this field. Like when I talk to like my close friends and even family members, people are shocked at the amount of money that can be made, and we're what, mid-level. Like to think of, like, we don't have millions of followers.
Correct.
You know, we make great content and great work, but we're not even.
Correct. You don't have to have millions.
Yeah,
I used to think this too, actually. I thought you have to have millions of followers on YouTube and or on Instagram in order to make high 6 figures, even 7 figures. You've got to have millions and millions of followers.
Yeah,
and you don't.
Okay,
you
so
don't. It's about working smart.
So far this year, I think I've made about 750,000. I'm definitely gonna make $1 million this year for sure.
Same.
Actually, it's about the same for me as well. But it's true.
It's the millions for us.
Next question. This is from I Am Superwoman. Do you all recommend building a following on Instagram, a blog first, or starting a YouTube channel? So people always ask, what should I do first? Basically in hopes of like, I'm assuming not wasting their time. They want to, where's the good at right now? Like, where should I go? That's the wrong thought process. You should go where you're most passionate, because you need to be consistent and do the thing, right? You need to have fun. You need to do it out of the joy of it. So that's where you need to go. You also need to do what you're good at. So some people are like, oh, I see you grew your YouTube channel quick. Like, should I start a YouTube channel? Well, not if you're not good at speaking on camera. Not if you don't have somewhat engaging personality. Not if you're like you don't enjoy talking about things, or you're not passionate enough to talk about things. Filming videos is extremely difficult. I prefer YouTube. I like taking pictures too, but I really like YouTube. So that's why I started my channel, not just because I thought that would be an avenue.
This question is from Low Key Legion. How do you go about getting representation from an agency? And I think she also asked, do you need representation from an agency?
You definitely don't.
You don't? Well, I don't have management currently, and I've never had management, and it's worked well for me, but I'm also a very type A person. I'm very good with managing my money, with negotiating. I don't mind negotiating and managing myself and staying on top of like all of my tasks and things. That's just because I'm very extremely type A. And so if you're not a self-motivated type of go-getter type of person, you don't want to spend time pitching yourself or looking for jobs or trying to keep up with 100 million emails, then management will probably be better for you, so that you can focus on doing the things
that you're good at.
It's
about knowing your strengths and your weaknesses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like my weakness when I ran a store at Target was sitting down at my desk, responding to email. I hated that. I like being out on the floor. I like coaching people, training people. Anytime I had to just sit at my desk. So to me, management was like, that's the first thing I want to get rid of. Throw it out of the window. I don't want to email anybody. So that's why it made sense for me. But then you outsource, right, the things you're not passionate about. You outsource editing.
Yes.
Right? So that
I'm not editing this video.
Right.
My editor is editing this
I edit every video because I love that part. So it's just about, I feel like that helps you make the decision.
It does.
Because it's like, what you can't do it all. The things you should give up are the things you dislike, and the things you're not that great at, or you just don't like them. All right. I hope we put a disclaimer that I have a hangover somewhere in this video.
Oh, cool.
No.
Yes.
No one knows.
They're gonna know.
I have a question here, and it is from Sonder_here, and it's how to start from nothing and overcoming the fear of everyone judging you. There is a quote that I heard from Kelly Cutrone years ago, and it says, as soon as you work in front of the camera, be prepared for people to hate you. You're never going to please everybody. Not everyone likes Oprah, believe it or not. It doesn't matter what you do, there will be people who will criticize what you say, what you don't say. I've said this before on my channel. What you buy, what you don't buy, just everything. You have to develop a thick skin and to realize that you are talking to the people who actually get you, who get me. That's who I am doing this for.
Goes back to the love of it.
There are people who really like what I do, and they're my tribe, they're my people, and those are the people I'm talking to. But I'll always get the negativity, and I'll always get comments, mostly on YouTube.
Because you can really be anonymous.
Ooh, they really like go into it on the comments.
But not too anonymous, because I will find you on Instagram and TikTok and block you there as well.
Piggybacking on that, I always say to myself, anytime there's something negative, then it's not for you. And that's okay.
You have to just be very headstrong and do whatever you want to do. It will hurt in the beginning. Utilize the block words. That's what I do. There are certain words that if anyone even puts them in a sentence, I have to review those. Do whatever you have to do to keep a sane mind, but also it's okay if a negative comment gets to you. We are all human beings. I still get a little in my feelings about certain comments, but I just delete them and I move on.
Just use block to keep your safe space. It's like inviting someone into your home, because that's what you're doing on YouTube. You wouldn't want someone to walk into your house and just like say F off and this, that and the other. Do you know what I mean?
Or stand on your white couch with dirty boots.
Correct.
What was the biggest fear you had to let go of to transition from your previous career to being a full-time influencer? This is a great question. I would say my fear was just the unknown. I never knew an entrepreneur. I never knew somebody who worked for themselves. I couldn't even imagine it. I made good money at Target, and so it was kind of like, are you gonna like leave your job to take pictures? Like, you're taking pictures. Like, you're gonna leave all this security, you're good at this, like, what are you thinking? So I had to wrap my mind around, people do it every day. And the great thing is that the more people that I would meet, like when she quit her job, I was like, wow, you're like still paying your bills. Okay, good to see.
By the grace of God.
And she was very transparent with me about that. So it wasn't like she made it look exciting or like, yeah, hurry up and quit. Like me, she was like, it's hard.
It's like seeing yourself.
Seeing is believing.
Seeing someone that looks like you, even. If anyone out there is looking at us and thinking, God, that's me.
Yeah.
You know, regardless of what color you are.
Yeah.
If you can relate, then it's visualization. You're seeing yourself in a way.
Yeah, and I had to just say, you know what, Janae, the worst thing that can happen is you get another job. Or you can come back to Target. Like, you can come back in a few months. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to give myself, even as I was quitting my last week, I was like, maybe I'll get a part-time job. Maybe I should just get something at the mall. Like, the idea of like, what if I make no money could not get out of my head. And I was like, I'm just going to try the summer. It was May. And I was like, listen, if I am digging into my savings the whole summer, I'll get a job.
It's the same. After I left my job, I had saved up enough money because I was already thinking about leaving my job. But I'm also very type A, and the thought of not getting a paycheck every 2 weeks was horrifying to me. But I gave myself 3 months. I said I'm going to do this full time for 3 months, and then if it doesn't work, I'll just get another job. I think the first month I made maybe triple the amount I made in a month being a doctor of physical therapy, and that's when I knew I'm in it.
In it to win it.
I'm in it to win it. Okay, balls to the walls. We're going in.
I was laid off from my job. Planned to quit, but they laid me off a month before I quit, which is quite interesting. And
it was meant to be.
Exactly. I was paid once a month, and I just saved everything I could. Can you believe I cried the day they laid me off? I can't believe. Anyway, I have to get over it. Obviously, I've not got over it. That fact
Girl, I cried too. We all cried.
We all cried.
I quit and I cried. I was in the
and I was laid off and I cried. I did not make that much once I quit.
But you also did it in a different time though. This was years and years ago.
Yeah, it was 2009. Well, 2009 was when I started the blog. I still had my day job then. And then about 3-4 years later, something around then, that's when I was laid off from my job. And I was still struggling. And you know, I lived with Michael, who is my husband now, who's my boyfriend at the time. He was a freelancer too. So 2 freelancers living under the same roof with bills to pay, mortgage to pay, the whole works, without steady income coming in. The stress was unbelievable, but I did not want to stop because I loved doing it so much that I just thought, I'm not stopping this. I can't go back. I don't want to get a 9-to-5 job because even though I am sad and scared as doing this, I knew at the same time that this was what I love to do.
It's also very hard though. I feel like it's way harder working for yourself than working for someone else.
100%. This is way harder because you're so doing everything. Because a company, they assume a lot of responsibilities that you may not even realize until you're by yourself.
Healthcare,
taxes, you know, health insurance, benefits, all kinds of things. They assume all of those, you know, well, partial of those responsibility, and
the job never stops.
And that's the job security that you're giving up, and that's very, very difficult too, especially if you've got kids. You know, you've got a mortgage to pay, car. You know, everyone's got responsibilities, and so that's why it's difficult to stop.
One of my other pushes was, if not now, it's never going to happen. Even though this feels hard now, it's the easiest it's ever going to be. Yeah, so I have to do it.
It's the hardest I've ever worked in my entire life. I've never ever worked this hard ever, and it's not letting up, but I prefer this. I would much rather work this hard than work half the hardness. I'm saying that in such a weird way.
Half the hardness,
half the hardness, and in a job where someone's telling me what to do. This is much better. This sounds so freaking dramatic. I'm sorry.
No, I think it's
you're gonna regret what you didn't do, not what you did. You're gonna regret what you didn't do. So
Yeah,
have a go.
I agree. Next question. This is from August Ash 89. How do you all decide how much to charge a brand? I think this is an excellent question, and it's never, for me, it's never the same thing. I do take different things into consideration. I take into consideration like, what is that brand, and do they have a lot of money? What I will do is, if I know it's a brand that someone I know has worked with, I'll ask them, hey, they got some money? That's why it's so good to kind of have friends or someone you know in this industry that you can talk to, because people don't like to talk about money, but it's
even when it's not about money, even when it's just like, did you enjoy
did you enjoy
like
working with this brand? Like,
how was the communication?
Did you get paid on time?
All
like,
that.
All of those things you want to kind of know.
Oh, they were awful. Good to know.
If it's a brand new business, or even if it's like one of my friends' businesses, or even a black-owned business, I'll do like discounts. I know everybody won't do that, but I do. And I also take into account what they're asking for, which is the deliverables, the things you're going to give that brand. Do they want an Instagram post? Do they want a reel? Do they want a YouTube integration? Those things for me are going to cost different prices, because I have different numbers on each of those platforms.
Companies are in the position where they're aware that you guys aren't, we're not speaking to each other.
Yeah.
Because say we all have 5,000 followers on YouTube, right? And then the brand will say, Karen, how much? And I'll charge 1,000. JENEE will charge 2,000. MONROE will charge 5,000. They'll realize that, okay, this is like the Wild West. There is no sense of democracy in terms of fair, how much we should get paid. There's no unionization of this, by the way, this industry. Yeah. We're having to figure it out ourselves. And I think it may eventually get that way. I don't know.
You think?
We'll see.
I don't know.
I don't know, right? Or maybe just minimum amount.
Here's the thing, a brand is always going to come at you with the lowest amount.
Always. They'll bore you because they want to test and see if you'll just take
never take, if a brand gives you a number first, like I never take that first number, ever. If anything, I'll double it, maybe even triple it, because then we're going to meet somewhere in the middle.
Correct, because it's forcing them up to their maximum once you've stated that. So they're going to be like, okay, well, this is the most we can pay.
Yeah. They have the top number.
But then,
or I'll just give them my rate.
Right, because it's in their interest to get you for as less as possible. Yeah. Right, because often it's an agency or a brand who's coming to you, and the agency will represent the brand, and the agency takes a cut. Oh, are we done? Oh my gosh! All right, so that is it. That is.
Well, that's not it.
Yeah, that is not it, but that is it.
But wait, there's more.
There is more. That is my lot for part one, which is my part. I really hope that you enjoyed watching this, and if you did get some ideas, and if it really helped you, give this video a thumbs up, okay, so that we know that you did like this kind of video. And do not forget, subscribe to my channel, Karenbritchick, and I am on Instagram and TikTok as well. And don't forget, obviously, to follow these two lovely ladies. I will leave their Instagram accounts and YouTube videos below. Watch part 2, which is JENEE High-Low Luxe. Her video is linked below. And then watch part 3, which is MONROE STEELE. Part 3 linked below. Okay, so part 1, 2, and 3. Business of blogging, how to be a boss, basically.
We got to the title.
There you go.
Period.
Yeah. Booyah. Okay, we're out. Bye.